barn. Even Janet lost patience with him. Well then, I'll run away, said Robin to himself, and off he went over the windy hills. At last Robin could run no more, and by the edge of St. Mary's Loch he flung himself on the grass and was soon sound asleep. He did not know that the ring of moss in which he lay belonged to the fairies. The water kelpies and other elvish creatures knew, and they laughed with glee. The sun fell over the hills, and over the hills came the tinkling of tiny bridal bells. The fairies were riding over the moor. The queen stopped in the fairy ring and laid her finger on Robin's cheek. "This little man shall be mine," she said. "Elves, set him on a horse and take him to my castle." When Robin awoke, he found himself looking into the cold gray eyes of the queen. "You are now in fairyland," she told him, "and there is nothing to do but play and eat to your heart's content." Everywhere Robin went, his eyes were dazzled. He soon found that indeed he could do as he liked. There was no water to be carried, no porridge to be eaten, no sweeping to be done. If the fairies had cow, they needed no tending. He was very pleased with his easy life. But one day Robin found he was tired of having nothing to do, and he was lonely. He missed his mother and his father, and most of all, he missed Janet. There was one elf who liked to tease him with news of the human world. The elf told Robin how his mother watched by the window while his father and Janet searched for him across the hills. One night, when this elf went to spy on the human world, he did not see Janet. Finally, he found her in the hayloft. She was sobbing so bitterly for Robin that even the elf's little stone heart was touched. He showed Janet her brother in a dream, and Robin told her how she could free him. She must go to the greenwood the very next night and follow this charm exactly. First let pass the milk-white steed, then let pass the brown, but you must stop the coal-black steed and pull the rider down. And then she must hold tight to the rider until she could cast her green coat over him. The next night, Janet went to the greenwood. She hid for a long time under a tree until an eerie cavalcade wound its way through the forest. She saw the queen pass on a milk-white steed, followed by the elf on a brown one. Then came a shadowy figure mounted on a coal-black steed. In spite of her terror, she leapt at the rider and pulled him to the ground. How horrible it was! Shape after shape writhed in her grasp, but Janet held on as she knew she must. At last she managed to throw her green coat over him. And there was her own dear brother Robin grinning at her. As she hugged him close, she heard the angry voice of the queen. "Janet, you have taken away the bonniest lad in all my company." But wild Robin was safe. The fairies had lost their power over him forever. "I'll never run away again," said Robin. The end.
Happy.